I think seeing my dad cry the day I was diagnosed with cancer. How's that for your YouTube video? Not depressing at all. It'll be great.
It would probably just be like the day that I realized she had passed, because my parents are both kind of abusers. They both had a problem with alcoholism, a little bit of heroin. Why do you ask the sad questions? My heart hurts. I'm bleeding.
It's hard to hold it together, you know? Mm-hmm.
Only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can easily unsubscribe. Enjoy the video.
I had a kitten die of intestinal hemorrhage, and she was in pain for about 10 hours, like writhing in pain on the floor. I pet her and I sang to her a little bit before I took her to the vet so that they could euthanize her. That f***ed me up really bad. I was cool for like 3 days, and then like one day I just thought about it and I started crying harder than I'd ever cried in my life, and I was just like like an electric conduit was going through my brain, and it was just like and then I was okay about it after that.
Live your life like it's the last. You know, my sister died this year and she was about to hit 30, and we never knew it was going to happen. So you don't know when tomorrow is. We got COVID now. We never knew this was going to happen. If you want to go raving, bro, go raving. If you want to go party, go party. Like, what anybody says, what they tell you. I mean, obviously abide by the laws, but I mean, have fun. I mean, you're like, you know, right now we're wasting the little minutes that we have, and you can't relive that. Like, when you're old, what kind of cool ass stories are you gonna tell your grandkids, or like not even that, your niece and nephews? You'd be like, yo, bro, when I was young, I did this. You know, just make a cool story out of yourself. Be the main character of your story.
Probably my dad leaving. If I had to rank them, he went to a different country because I guess, I don't know, we were just boring or something.
The cat would like to answer these questions. He might have better answers than me. I got way too serious, Pooh Bear. That was way too serious, I think.
You know, you get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever that you really care about. And I think the saddest moment is when you realize they're toxic and you have to leave them by choice for your own mind. Even though you love them, you have to break yourself away for your own sanity and health. And I think that to me is the deepest kind of sad there is.
Probably my saddest memory that I have is when I was helping who at one point I considered a best friend out with depression, and he essentially told me to off, and to this day I still hold resentment to him. Like, I hate the guy a lot, but I wish the best for him.
My most sad memory? Well, I found out one of my friends, Sean, died. At the time I didn't know it was like suicide. I just thought he died, but yeah, he ended up killing himself. It was not that long ago, but like him and my mom were separated, but I didn't know it at the time. Like, they were divorced for a while, but they never told any of us. I mean, he always said that he was gonna visit, but I've only seen him once since he left, but I don't know.
Yeah, even though people dying and stuff is sad, you know that they're not leaving you out of hate. They've left you with love.
And my mom one day, she said that, like, I was young, so I wanted to pick to live with my dad at the time. So we had an argument, and then she just threw me out of the house.
Well, the thing is, I didn't have like one moment that was like really me up or something. My ex-girlfriend breaking up with me on Sylvester, New Year party. Funny thing is, I didn't even realize what was happening because I was like really drunk and high, and when I woke up like the next morning, I just woke up and started crying, you know, because I slowly realized what happened.
That was pretty shocking, especially since like I was just standing at lunch talking to my friends, playing on my DS, and then someone came up and they're like, hey, did you hear Sean died? That just like completely took me off guard, and I was like, that was for a week, dude.
What was your sad moment of your life?
For me, I'm fortunate enough to live in a pretty good home. My parents divorced young, and that was a little bit tough. But we've
same here. My parents also divorced.
I don't know.
Yeah.
For me, like, my true saddest moment, I feel like when I reflected back on my previous years, I realized how sucky of a person I was being towards others and towards myself.
Oh shoot!
My sibling passing away. It wasn't natural. It was more of my brother having something too much.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
that's a hard
through
time.
something like that. Recently, I had to leave my ex-fiance because things had just gotten so terrible, and I had been blinded by my emotions for him. I just realized one day that I'm not happy, and I needed to make a change.
I've definitely gotten a lot better with like how I deal with things and how to just like kind of just chill. Cause like, I don't know, I've had it for some time, like some depression and whatnot. And like you learn to kind of deal with it, and then eventually it's kind of just like whatever, it's not really a big deal.
My mom has majority. My dad never was able to get custody because he was in jail so many times. And apparently someone accused him of he tried to cut someone. And when I tell people, I don't want them to feel sorry for me. Like, I don't want to tell people because then they'll be like, oh, I feel so bad for you. Don't feel bad. I'm fine. Don't feel bad.
It's good to talk about these things in time. Keeping these things bottled up is no more than keeping a fart in a jar, only for it to smash and have all of the awful scent come out.
Probably seeing my mom cry.
Don't care too much about what people say to you, because one person's opinion will be looking deep down inside of you, completely ignoring the good and focusing on the bad, while others will look for both and pick out the best qualities of you.
When we found out she had cancer, it was 2 months before she died, because she was a woman who really didn't want to bother anyone with any of her problems, so she kept it all to herself, and even her own kids didn't know.
Saddest memory. I have to think about this, actually.
I would go first. The saddest memories I have was depression, because of relationships that I have in the past was horrible. What about you, Nickel?
I have struggled a lot in school 5 years back. I have autism, so I got bullied almost every day.
Just kick them ass, bro. That's simple. What? You have to toughen up and punch them in the face.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know better than them, so why should I do that? If I do the same as they are doing, I'm not as good as them.
I just noticed I need to learn how to love myself first before I can love anyone else. The past months, I just looked into the mirror and just said, I hate you, I don't want to be alive, I don't want to wake up, do work or something. I just need to work on my attitude on life.
Yeah, and I very much feel that, because I've been there, and to me it was the hardest decision I ever had to make. And ultimately, of course, and it may take a while, and if you just went through it, it's hard to even hear someone tell you, it will be better, but it will.
Yeah.
And
it already is.
Okay, well then, see, good. Then, yeah, I took about 2 years when I did that, and I thought dark thoughts, that you shouldn't have.
I will say my advice is a little hard now, but it's good to just build relationships and just hang out with people, force yourself to go out and just chill and have a good time. Cause you won't want to do shit. You'll just want to stay in bed all day. Just fight that. Just get up, get going. You'll start to feel better, and you'll notice a difference.
There has been a lot of sad moments in my life, from eating lunches alone during elementary and middle school to leaving my family for the first time. But if I had to say the saddest is some of these days where I'll be sat at my computer. I live on the other side of the world. I currently live in Japan. So a lot of the times that I'm on, my friends aren't on. And those days I usually kind of regret going to where I did, because it's those nights that I spend looking at an empty computer screen, waiting for somebody to message back in the group, and there's nobody. They're all asleep, either busy with work and stuff like that. And it's those nights that I kind of spend thinking about if what I'm doing is right.
Family or not, people you can count on.
Family help you a whole lot, man.
Even friends can be family sometimes. Sometimes you're so close to someone that it feels as if they're, your own brother.
They're family. Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel about all of my friends, is I feel like they're a part of my family, and so if anyone messes with them, I'll protect them.
Suddenly, she showed up at all of her kids' places and stayed with them, including my father. And when she showed up at ours, she, just sat down, we started talking. If I would have known that she was going to, die 2 months later, I would have probably, tried to talk to her more, or tried to learn more about her.
Ultimately now, I feel like the weight finally lifted, and you can go, and breathe. And then you kind of know not to end up in that situation again. And you look for the call signs of it. And when you see it, you go, to jump this ship early and not let it sail that far out to ocean, because I don't want to swim back that far. It's just too far out to swim back, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think as you get older, for reference, and I'm about 47, so that puts me kind of in the older end of people who play this game generally that I've found. But I think that's the biggest advice, is just don't ever take anything so far out of bounds that you can't come back from it.
Probably when I dropped out of university the first time, that was definitely sad. I was depressed. I was basically putting all my eggs in one basket. I had social anxieties that made I couldn't really get my own mind straight. I'm a lot better now, don't worry. But
guy or girl, like, it doesn't matter. Be okay with just letting it out and just crying, because it feels really good when you do, and it releases the tension and you'll feel better because of it. Just don't care and just let it out.
We all have those lows and those highs, and sometimes when it really hits, those lows seem like that's the only thing in the world, but it's worth it to wait for the highs.
Hey, you know what? Everything would just be better off if I wasn't here. Then once you kind of get a grip on your life again, you'll go, you know what? It is better off with me here. And there's a lot of people around, even if you don't see them immediately, that do care and do want you in their life. And if you don't have anything like that, you can always find some. There's a million people out there that you can just run in and talk to. You're not going to talk to every 7 billion people on the planet, but there's enough of them out there that, maybe you just run into them in here. Maybe you run into them in a city street or at Walmart. Maybe you don't talk to people right now because of the pandemic and all that stuff, but there's always alternative things to do. And I've met enough nice people in here that...
What is wrong with this arm? What's going on here? It does, yeah. I'd like this hand back, though. Anyway, continue.
I'm enlisted in the Navy, so they shipped me all the way over here. It's definitely interesting.
At the end of the day, different kinds of depression. There's one of them which is caused by events that happen that can break you, and that's the kind that I had. I didn't have the kind of depression where it's a chemical imbalance where it just comes out of nowhere, so I can't really speak from that kind of a one. But regarding the ones where it comes to situational, your attitude towards it is a large part of trying to fix it.
Love yourself because you're important and you're you. You've beat a cosmic lottery larger than any lottery you could ever possibly imagine, and that's worth way more than anything else you can imagine.
For me, I put all of my self-worth, my validation, everything into this one thing. And then once that was removed, I lost everything all at once. In my mind, I came close to doing some other stupid shit after that, but realizing that there is an after credits, that the sun will rise the next day, and that, hey, you might have the first 25 years of your life, but you've still got another 50 to go. So here's a starting point for that life.
And I would hope that it would be vice versa.
You would hope that, but sometimes it doesn't happen like that,
Right.
Sometimes it's it's just a one-way street. Like you would give your life for this person and everything like that, but then you gotta weigh stuff out, man. How the did I get in here? What the Hey, I gotta go.
At the end of the day, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. There'll be full storms, but we're gonna get through this. We will get through this.
I wanted to get as deep as possible because I know that's usually
and deep.
That's usually what gets views. That's usually what gets views.
Exactly. I was trying to help a homie out. I was like, okay, let me think of something really deep that actually happened to me. Hey, and like people might be actually going through it. You know what I mean? So how you have a lot of viewers, to help out with people who are out there who need that.
Is this going on YouTube or you're just streaming or something? What's your channel? Live progress. I think
Holy shit, it's you. What? Whoa.